Overview. Welcome back to Daily Stoic Insights. Have you ever had to deal with a door that was slammed in your face, but to discover that it was the greatest outcome that could have occurred to? We're going to delve deeply into the skill of flipping the roles, rejection, that was motivated by none else than Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher who was Stoic. Imagine living in a society where everyone doesn't help you advance, rather than bring you down. Forward rejection is a phrase that frequently causes a sting that could turn into your stepping. The key to success isn't about deceiving fate, but realizing that there are moments when the universe is concealed. Yes, you are a part of something bigger. Feeling disregarded or undervalued or underappreciated, it's time to change the course. This video will examine 13 potent tutorials that instruct you on how to use the strength of rejection, where not only these are real-world applications of talking theory, global tactics that you can use in your day-to-day activities. Before we dive in, let's make sure as many people as possible hear this wisdom. Perhaps press that button and ring. YouTube is displayed on the notification bell. You're getting something out of what we're sharing. Let's begin this now. Road of transformation together, prepared to make the most of your rejections. Number 1, triumphs are ignored as well. 1. Ignore them as well. When you're given the cold shoulder by indifference doesn't diminish, it grows. Above it and disregarding those who disregard you, isn't that a strong declaration of your sense of value? Picture this person deems you unworthy of their time. By making that decision, it's their loss, not yours. Not to interact, you're implying that I'm worth more, like turning a mirror in the direction of them, subtly mirroring their actions and demonstrating to them that you are now unaffected. How can this be accomplished without losing yourself in resentment? Just concentrate on your life, your objectives, and your level of happiness into pursuits that enhance you, whether it literature, sports, picking up a new ability, or simply taking pleasure in the company of people who appreciate you. This isn't about obtaining. It's about taking something back from someone. Your efforts and putting them to good use matters. Sometimes when someone ignores you, it hurts us, but rather than lingering in that suffering, utilize it as a growth-promoting agent to create a stronghold of dignity and allow their bounce off it with indifference. You're not barely making it through their rejection, you're flourishing in spite of this strategy. Demonstrates more than just emotional maturity. It demonstrates your inner fortitude. Keep in mind that your worth never diminishes. According to someone's incapacity to see own value, remain loyal to yourself and allow your deeds are more powerful than their words. Silence, too, doesn't have an emotional response. 2. Avoid emotional reactions. Being rejected can hurt and make you want to respond, to allow your feelings to run wild, but this is the Stoics' hidden weapon. Calmness from a playbook when someone brushes. It's easy to let frustration get the better of you, or despondency take control. Stoicism is a philosophy that is still applicable today. As it existed in classical Greece, provides an alternative route. It recommends adopting a well-written, considerate response. This isn't regarding repressing your emotions, it's about resisting their influence, while instead of becoming agitated, you are ignored. When looking for approval, take a step back. Why is this bothering me, you ask? Frequently, it's not the rejection per se, but our own self-harming insecurities. This is where we need to go the most. You're being ignored. Practical. Take a deep breath. Consider why this particular time isn't it's only that one moment that defines you. Stoicism instructs us to concentrate on our behaviors and reactions independent of others. Behavior. Be courteous and friendly if you feel like contacting someone. Use sincere in their care and not expecting this. Being passive isn't the goal of this strategy. It's about controlling your emotions. It's realizing that your value as a person isn't. Your power is dependent on other people's approval. In the way you react, not how other people treat you. Adopting is a game changer. This way of thinking is difficult, but it's transformative once you learn to be calm. When you're rejected, you're not just managing a challenging circumstance. As you mature, you discover that your inner peace is independent of outside. Validation is a process that leads to self-assurance that teaches you to value you yourself. By accomplishing this on your own, you demonstrate genuine fortitude and tenacity, and I suppose, whoa, those are really gorgeous folks, are attracted to self-assured people. Those who don't immediately fall apart, indication of apathy, hence by remaining composed. You're thriving, not just getting by. You're developing the ability to face rejection and use it as a springboard stone for individual development, which is the Stoic Method 3. Take them out of your 3. Get rid of them from your thoughts. Thoughts when confronted with rejection. Using the detachment technique effectively becomes an effective weapon in your arsenal. This isn't about ignoring or acting as though the reason rejection didn't hurt is directing that encounter into something transformational, beginning by admitting the impact of the rejection is felt, but don't allow it to serve as a mental anchor. A competent sailor negotiating choppy waters uses the waves to guide you, not to overturn your vessel by altering rejection calls for a change in viewpoint. Refusal as a tool, not a barrier detour sign, pointing you in the direction of new pathways and opportunities to investigate pursuits that uplift your soul and expand your horizons. Explore a novel that stretches your thinking by participating in a sport that pushes you, or participates in a community initiative that provides a new viewpoint. These aren't simply, they are stepping stones to distractions. Self-awareness and development with each new experience shapes a piece of who you are, enhancing your resilience, additional flexible and foster a network of be positive and surround yourself with positive people who encourage and motivate you in your business. Discuss your goals and listen to these exchanges. Produce in a setting that fosters mutual progress. Keep in mind that rejection is not a reflection of your value. It's a request to reimagine and rediscover who you are. As you proceed, you'll discover that what appeared to be a painful, actually, rejection served as a prod toward a more satisfying path. 4 illustrates 4. Show that you are valuable. Rejection of your value hurts, yet it's moreover a test of your perseverance rather than withering under its weight. It is an opportunity to show off your grit next. The moment you enter a meeting or breathe if you were passed over for a promotion. Rather than building up a storm of self-pity or resentment, direct that energy into working on a project with constructive activity that showcases your abilities or offers to take the lead on a new project. Your worth isn't weakened by the carelessness of others. It's a chance to shine more brilliantly without being deterred. Remember, by the shadows of dismissal, the adage, when one door closes, another one that isn't idle opens. Chatter serves as a guide for action. Rejection doesn't represent your worth, since it reroutes you to your current location. Required more if you're chosen for a role. Perhaps the universe is trying to tell you in the direction of something more compatible. Make use of your skills and interests as an impetus for re-evaluating and realigning. What are your main advantages, and how can you turn around to maximize them? It's about writing your own success story, when each failure serves as a prelude to a return. This has nothing to do with plastering it's about choosing to grin despite disappointment, accepting the entire range of feelings, and then continuing with grace. Stoicism instructs us to concentrate on the things that we can regulate our behavior and responses when confronted with rejection. Practices compassion for others as well as for oneself. Perhaps the co-worker who failed to notice you is fighting against their own fears. broaden comprehension without showing weakness, but as evidence of your power, develop. Consider these experiences. Learn, then rise from it like a phoenix. The more powerful ashes of rejection and smarter than before rejection, thus is a twist rather than the conclusion of your story. In the storyline encouraging you to become the most genuine and robust rendition of with knowledge, confront it head-on. Of the ages and youth vitality, and observe how it changes from your greatest ally's greatest fear in personal development and success. 5. Silence the interaction. 5. Break off communication. Is more than just the lack of sound. It's a strong instrument in your emotional toolbox, particularly while coping with rejection. Imagine being turned away or ignored. Down your gut may be screaming for a fix. It to try to close the gap, but embrace is where you flip the script. Quietness isn't about having fun. It's about taking back your authority when you decide against reacting and refraining from bombarding calls or messages. You're moving forward. This halt isn't solely for them, though. For you to adjust in order to recall your value is independent of one's approval. Let's examine this quiet in more detail. Is active and strategic rather than passive. Not only are you waiting, but it's time to grow and reflect. Refocus on your objectives, interests, and consider life as a reset button, providing you with power and clarity. This time without interaction isn't chilly or cruel. It's a limit you establish for your mental tranquility by expressing respect. I am too self-centered to pursue or beg for this. The perspective is empowering rather than merely stoic. It says a lot about your value as a person. And assurance, finally. Take into account that you're delivering a silent message to the globe, where prompt reactions are anticipated. Even your silence can be fascinating, beautiful. It demonstrates that you're not readily disturbed by the fact that your life is full of priorities and areas of interest beyond this. It's not about having children accept rejection. It's about regretting it or returning with a crawl. Demonstrating your stability and not readily influenced by outside confirmation. This strategy does not ensure a change in their actions, but it guarantees a change in yours that makes you more resilient, calm, and prepared to handle whatever is followed by grace and poise. 6. Disprove them. Show them incorrectly by applying the technique of rejection is more than just demonstrating having people incorrect while proving yourself. What you can actually do is approximately turning no into your motivation for development. Let's imagine someone questions your talents in a certain task or skill. This is your opportunity to hone that ability, not to win their favor, but to outperform your own boundaries and immerse yourself in learning practice constantly and arrive with a degree of expertise that even you didn't realize. This wasn't about a dramatic unveiling to the skeptics, about silently constructing a stronghold of proficiency and confidence. Now, consider the consequences of your actions. Instead of using words, you don't have to declare your intentions or advancements, and allow your results show whether you're considered to be unimaginatively. Start a project that displays your inventiveness if categorized as uncommitted. Let your regular behavior to be your reaction to this quiet revolution. Of bettering oneself is not a struggle, opposing the opinions of others, but a crusade for individual excellence. And when you alter the story that the world tells about you, changes to the real purpose of demonstrating. The mistake is not in altering their viewpoints, but in changing your own. Imagine yourself on your adventure of enhancing oneself will not only astonish people while also redefining your comprehension of your capabilities. This goes beyond proving them incorrect. The goal is to redefine what you consider to be correct. And in this voyage, the biggest triumph is the understanding that the only source of the one you provide is what really counts. Go out and enjoy yourself. 7. Get out and enjoy yourself. The actual essence of existence is most radiant. When we venture beyond our familiar surroundings, embracing joy is more than simply having fun. It's a calculated step to develop resilience in the face of rejection. The usual response is to retreat to stew in the acidity of the experience, but this is a counter to twist that instinct by consciously looking for, this isn't about disregarding your happiness sentiments, it's about providing them with a fresh, whether it's investigating a new pastime or returning to a previous passion. The act itself turns into a declaration of refusal to accept the consequences of rejection. People are social beings, and there's enormous power in shared encounters during your quest to obtain leverage rejection. Keep in mind the worth of your tribe asks pals to go hiking with them and join a community art initiative, or just share these times of connecting during meals accomplish more. Rather than simply cheer you up, they confirm your position in the fabric of human interaction. Every shared laugh. The shared story serves as a subliminal reminder that you are more than the sum of your circumstances, failures that are a component of a bigger story that is centered around connection and collective resiliency. This is where the stepping into the unknown is when true magic occurs. Rejection can seem like a door that has been closed. However, it actually opens up a lot more opportunities. Discover a cuisine you've never tried by going to a neighborhood you haven't visited, or attend a workshop on a subject that is unfamiliar to. These encounters are not merely distractions, they present chances for every new experience adds layers of growth to your personality, making you more flexible, sympathetic, and more able to manage life's curveballs. Keep in mind that the objective is not to go past the rejection and learn from it, transforming everything into a springboard. 8 steps to a more vivid and varied life. Raise your social standing by imagining that you're 8. Boost your standing in society. In a room that is nearly invisible and overlooked, stoicism is your secret opportunity. Instructs us to transform such instances of rejection as motivators for individual development, rather than looking for approval. Concentrate on community and self-improvement. Participation. This isn't about scaling a social ladder. It's all about moving up the personal ladder of self-improvement exercises, such as exploring hobbies or physical fitness. Career advancement isn't only tasks, they are your instruments to consider your stronger, more robust self. Sharing your experience without expecting praise, but to establish a connection when discussing, let your accomplishments or passions be a means of connecting with like-minded people. This isn't a tactic to use with your story to get fans, but a genuine effort to locate like-minded individuals by participating in. You're not networking or volunteering. Adding a few lines to your CV, such as creating a tapestry of significant interactions. This strategy is extremely based on the Stoic school of thought, where personal development and making a contribution to the greater good is interwoven with enhancing your social standing. The priority is given to intention, it is not a search. Popularity is a path that leads to improving oneself as a person. You should take one step at a time toward progress that has a cascading effect that improves the community. This change of viewpoint is essential, but it's about seeing, not about being seen. Develop yourself so that you may assist others. Develop this stoic attitude is a potent instrument for navigating the contemporary world, transforming the rejection wave into a strong positive wave. Transformation. 9 pretends not to live in the presence of someone who 9 pretend they don't exist. When the strongest overlooks you. The calm response has nothing to do with being chilly or petty, is about preserving your own tranquility. If someone decides to ignore you, you allow them to avoid wasting your time attempting to catch their attention or start a discussion. Instead, refocus your focus in a social event, such as a party. This could implying moving in the direction of someone who values your business, strikes up a discussion there. It's about realizing your value is not determined by another person's recognition in the inevitable junctions where you have to communicate with this individual. Keep professionals. Keep their conversations short, concise and free of any personal depth. It's not about displaying them. It's about putting yourself first by you're not keeping it completely business-related. Allowing for needless drama, it's a position indicating that I'm here for what's. This method is crucial, but not for the play. Keeps you concentrated on the important things, keeping you steady and rooted by ultimate indifference. If the disrespect persists, accept the ability to walk away does not equate to defeat. The purpose of this strategic retreat is realizing that you have more energy invested in relationships elsewhere and activities that make you happy and help you grow. By refusing to participate in a one-sided struggle, you're not merely getting over a better person. You're moving toward chances for more healthful communication and a calmer mental state. Your reacting to apathy isn't a mirror of failure. It's evidence of your fortitude and dignity. 10. Giving them the silent treatment by selecting 10. Don't say anything to them. Stillness in the face of apathy is not about gaining an advantage. Rather, it's about keeping your composure, and respect instructs us to refrain from using quiet as a tool to incite or control, but as a means for emotional and self-reflection. When someone disregards you and you answer in quiet and leave it there. A time frame of reflection is a period of understanding emotions to sort through your ideas, and in order to obtain clarity, this isn't about disciplining the other individual. It's about maintaining your inner tranquility in. This quiet has a deep meaning. Chance for individual development, it's not. It's about opening, not about closing. Ultimately, Stoicism pushes us to take these opportunities to consider our qualities, our principles, and our desired interact with the world. It's an opportunity to ask yourself why this is bothering you. What lessons can I take away from this, and how can I increase? This type of quiet is beneficial rather than harmful. It's a chance to strengthen your morals and make sure your responses are in line with your values. So if you decide to stay silent, allow it to be a deliberate decision. Based on wisdom and self-care, it's a choice to refrain from acting in certain ways that are beneath you, such as manipulation, instead of retaliation or pettiness. Adopting Stoicism requires moderation and self-control by refraining from reacting. You're not simply disregarding other people, you're listening to yourself intently. It's a routine for keeping your calmness while concentrating on your own trip and living up to the Stoic principle of calm in the face of hardship. 11:11. Avoid begging for favors. Avoid begging for attention in front of being stoic, doesn't me. And begging, it's a call to anchor for attention, confidence in your own value, and being independent when someone disregards you. It's not a signal to execute form, louder for their eyes, rather than a chance to reflect on and reinforce. We learn from your own value Stoicism that our sense of self-worth shouldn't fluctuate, influenced by the attention of others. It's about maintaining a strong sense of self-worth. Being aware that your value isn't negotiate, pursue your interests, and pursuits with an abundance of being self-sufficient isn't about demonstrating leaving to help someone understand what they're lacking. It's about understanding for what you bring to the table, yourself engaging in pursuits that make you feel good. Make connections with people that value you, and develop an existence that makes you. Being proud is not a passive gesture. Rather, it's a bright, dynamic, and self-embracing. It involves being deeply engaged in your own development, and contentment that are necessary for external validation begins to diminish into irrelevant. So instead of pursuing short-term focus, put money into yourself. Create a life that fulfills you. Regardless of how other people view it, allow your self-assurance and confidence to be a result of your individual progress, and accomplishments are not a show put on in front of this austere crowd. Strategy isn't limited to handling rejection. The goal is to overcome it via concentrating on the important things: your personal development path and fulfillment. You transform rejection into a chance to make your resolve stronger and broaden your comprehension of self-worth. 12. Be compassionate but sensitive. 12. Be compassionate but emotionally aloof, remote, even when confronted with lack of interest. Instead, to reply with benevolence, but maintain your emotional world. This isn't about being chilly fortified. It's about safeguarding your inner tranquility. When you're ignored by someone, it's normal to feel angry or frustrated. But Stoicism instructs us to say hello such times without feeling turmoil, but with a calm heart. Give a kind greeting, a smile, or a merely hope for a pleasant day, but actually, without the burden of expectations. Your being compassionate is a gift, not a purchase. Keeping a healthy emotional distance is not. It's about drawing, not about constructing walls, lines. It is realizing that even if you have control, your acts are beyond your control. According to some, this distance is not an indication of strength, rather than weakness, and self-respect is a deliberate decision to not allow the acts of others to determine your mental condition. By remaining compassionate but disengaged, you're implying that I decide not to allow your lack of concern to throw me off balance. This strategy does more than merely keep you safe. It gives you strength. And this route of being kind and emotionally detachment is a potent representation of Stoic wisdom, is a state of equilibrium that permits you should engage with grace but remain steadfast in maintaining your emotional integrity. It's an expression of reverence for others as well as for yourself, and a testament enhance your development and comprehension of this manner in which you traverse life's rejections, that are not offended or resentful, while possessing an unwavering sense of inner dignity and peace. 13. Don't disclose. 13. Keep your struggles to yourself. The difficulties you face when someone disregards you. The temptation to display your difficulties can be debilitating, but Stoicism instructs us on how to keep our calmness. It's not about acting, it's about internal issues, but everything is good. Resilience demonstrating your being unaffected is not a front. It's a manifestation of genuine inner steadiness. Keep living your life in the same manner, the same tenacity and resolve as previously, not a show for other people, but a evidence of your own power. This strategy isn't about suppressing your emotions. Accept them, but don't let them serve as your ship's captain. Calmness and confidence should be your instructions. It's about managing what you can, your emotions, your behaviors, and your manner, by carrying on with your life with. You're not just displaying confidence. Others are reminded of your strength. Take it for yourself. It's a subtle but strong method of demonstrating that your self-worth is not based on other people's thoughts or actions. Essentially, by keeping your battle, you're adopting a Stoic. This is the philosophy of emotional resilience. Isn't about keeping your feelings to yourself. It's regarding handling them in a manner that keeps your self-respect and dignity intact. It's an example of wisdom and integrity, demonstrating your sense of groundedness in your own personality and not influenced by outside situations. Your reaction in the face rejection isn't limited to the planet. To see your reflection in the mirror, strength and stability, the path we've taken together through the complexities of reversing psychology, reveals 13 potent tips on turning rejection into an opportunity to tool for your success. Keep in mind, everything you face serves as a springboard to resilience, as a Stoic teaching lesson, us to access our inner power. And now I urge you to use these realizations in accept rejection in your day-to-day life, not as a disappointment, but as a spur for development and self-discovery. I'm interested in hearing about your tales of triumph, so please hit the subscribe button to sound the alert bell, and leave a comment below and describe your experience, your successes, as well as your challenges. Simply type, if you're at a loss for words, resilience to demonstrate that you've survived our session. Your engagement drives this community, guiding us in the direction of knowledge, comprehension, and most importantly, the skill of turning every turn a challenge into an opportunity. Developing the skill of Stoic fortitude, stay together. Stoic